In 1959, the organization brought in, not with cars, but motorcycles, and forever changed transportation in the USA. That organization was Honda. To date, it is towering in the industry. But Honda's story is more than that of engineering and business. It shares intensity and the courage to question. Today, with business in over 150 countries and a globally manufactured number of more than 400 million units, the impression Honda left in our collective heritage of mobility is simply indelible. Efficiency, reliability, and performance have been enduring benchmarks in every period of the Honda story. From a revolutionary CVCC engine that didn't need a catalytic converter to meet the then new emission standards, the game-changer Honda Civic has redefined what a compact car should be. This video explores Honda's rise from one more car or supplier of motorcycle spare parts to an expression of a global brand coveted worldwide and synonymous with innovation and brilliance, the embodiment of dreams turned into steel and rubber. Subscribe to the channel and let's get started. The story begins when a little boy named Soichiro develops an interest in automobiles that runs deep in his blood. His young boy obsession naturally led him to the paved way of this obsession, i.e. the auto industry. Entry into the industry was far from easy for Soichiro. On his first try, he attempted to produce engine piston rings for Toyota. His quality was subpar, and soon after he lost the contract. Such a setback may have been disheartening for most, but not for Soichiro. He simply called it an opportunity to learn and get better. Soichiro then made an effort to gather information about other industries in Japan. Indeed, with his relentless search for self-improvement, he discovered that he might be employed again by Toyota over a great product he had just worked up. The high-quality piston rings made through the automated process he recently mastered. But the journey was far from smooth for Soichiro. Problems came hounding, and his business crashed on him tragically, leaving him with shreds of what he had. But Soichiro Honda was nowhere near being a man defeated. With the little money he could recover, Soichiro stepped into another venture in 1946, Honda Technical Research. In Soichiro's mind, without him even realizing it, laid an ambitious goal before he could even spell out that goal: the concept of a motorized and customized bicycle. The mighty Honda Motor Company came from this small and determined step further into the powerhouse entity we've come to see and love today. This great man's tale lie way back when he dared to never give in, no matter the journey's cost. Soichiro dreamed of getting Japan back on its feet. With so many hapless Japanese workers struggling with movement, he saw just the ground to dispense help. The challenge was that it required funds to give life to his dream. Soichiro didn't get discouraged. He took that as a tender opportunity and wrote a heartfelt letter to them about his innovative solution, which was bound to invigorate Japan's sluggish pace. In that letter, he reached out to each one of those 18,000 bicycle shop owners spread all over Japan. This time, his idea reached a whopping 3,000 shop owners who could immediately see what he proposed. Bolstered by their support, these small-time shopkeepers pooled their capital together and provided the much-needed capital Soichiro was looking for. With this newfound support at his back, he was able to get his production underway and, in just a year, introduced the first complete motorcycle known as the Model D. The Model D was an extremely high point, a truly monumental achievement, but it wasn't without flaws. As is ever the case with these kinds of things, the bike turned out to be too big and heavy. The grand and majestic thing it was, limiting its customer base to just a few select ones. But Soichiro, a man of ceaseless determination, didn't also take it lying down. Not happy with the product, he returned to the drawing board, basing Model D on its pure essentials, leaving it stripped. He worked daily and nightly on every small detail, building a lighter, more user-friendly bike that would again whip the masses into a frenzy. After 3 years of a hard-fought battle with trial and error, our hero tasted success himself. He successfully built another marvel on two wheels that he proudly called Super Cub. In no time, Super Cub stole hearts across the nation that couldn't get enough of it. In fact, its popularity was so huge that it bagged the prized Emperor's prize. But that style of journey was certainly not done alone. The most valuable innards stood at one side. Enterprising investor Takeo Fujisawa contributed contributing not just capital but financial and marketing strategies, the two together make a bulwark upon which the Honda Motor Company was built. In 1958, it landed on Americans' websites, and it came with an unbeatable price. A mere $295, for heaven's sake. This would only be a third of the price for other motorcycles. With master marketing and unparalleled engineering, the Super Cub rode through the American motorcycle market. It outdid the bike brands in their countries and home territories. Honda solidified its status in the 1960s as one of the leading motorcycle manufacturers in the world, with the product Super Cub successfully entering the American market. This allowed more innovation to take place, captured the hearts of the enthusiasts, and went on to lead the markets around the world. However, the numbers and the profit were not all that the Super Cub came to represent. It was a product that was more than a product. It symbolized something real, like determination, passion, and stamina. It was like a prototype that, when put in sweat, inventiveness, and a forward-looking attitude, then anything is really possible. And yes, Honda does reflect how human determination can take one from a nobody to that legendary level. It brought with it a revolution to the motorcycle industry. This bike was such a breakthrough that it changed the traditional edges of motorbikes, which were now affordable and cheap. Its ergonomic design allows anybody to sit on it, professional or just an amateur dabbler. It paved another porch for a new era of motorbike enthusiasts and churned the industry. Soichiro was cunningly on the edge of his game and began to expand the brand of his motorcycle company into the winging world of racing. It was not just adrenaline and speed that made sense for manufacturers like Soichiro to show the machines in action. Racing was the only proving ground that made sense. It was their chance to show the world what they were made of. Soichiro was not one to be left standing on the sidelines. He had traveled the world with eyes wide open, with a bird's-eye handle on races, and sometimes even the minutiae about the smallest of his rivals' motorbikes. When he repeatedly applied the same standard that competitors reported from the field, he took it to heart as a personal challenge. He would then take that little speck home with him and put his nose to the grindstone to make sure to get that standard up over his own. It was this never-say-die spirit that propelled Honda motorcycles from their disappointing showing at their first international race in 1954 to win the podium at the 1959 Isle of Man TT, from which they would receive the Manufacturers' Team Award, considered the grandest motorcycle race on the planet. 2 years later, they tasted triumph at the Isle of Man TT. This almost absolutely irrational decision to stick with and go forth with the racing on the track definitely threw Honda into the limelight across 8 corners of the globe. By the time the 60s rolled in, though, Honda had punched its way to the top, becoming the biggest motorcycle company in the world. That was the story of Soichiro, one man and his motorcycles with an undying racing spirit to rush ahead. Dreams coming true Honda rose rapidly to become a major player in the motorcycle world by the swinging 60s. In 1949, with their crown jewel, Honda Dream, joining the market, Honda grabbed a name for itself in the motorcycle industry. So appealing to revolutionaries had the motorcycle that by 1968, Honda had already manufactured a whopping 10 million of them, officially becoming the #1 motorcycle company in the world. But ambition never dies. Through Soichiro Honda, the first part of Honda's empire was set up. As he progressed, this dream called him to enter the world of competing and thronging car manufacturing. As an 8-year-old boy, Soichiro dreamed of automobiles, not riding them, but creating them. This was not just a fleeting interest, but a profound passion that would shape his entire life and the future of Honda. For Honda, apparently, though the company might have started as a motorcycle firm, but for Soichiro, this was just a baby step before the final goal, enchanted by the auto industry. In 1963, Honda followed up his superbikes with entry into the auto industry, making its small T360 mini truck. It was a small pickup that may not win any accolades for design, but it would get the job done reliably. Strangely enough, with its virtues, it flopped. However, you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And that's exactly what Honda did. Next in line came their first sports car, an S500. Just imagine a pure sports car, A sleek two-door roadster collective with a 4-speed transmission and a small but quite light design, giving off a smooth and slick ride. Only about 1,300 of these have ever existed, so to date, it has to be one of the rarest Honda models. Owning an S500 today is like having a unicorn in your garage. But except for the early success in the race circuit, one felt that Honda had not entered the common man's car market until recently. Then, a phase began during which the people at Honda took to trackless pursuits and dived straight into a new project, one that wasn't about racing guns and butter. What did they do? They aimed to create a vehicle that would win hearts across all the globe, a vehicle that the world would remember. And the Honda Civic was born. The world first heard of this new model from Honda in 1972. Their communication told the people from the very outset that Civic was no ordinary vehicle. It was the modern chariot of the common man. And in due course, this little car definitely did show its mettle because, over the years, it did indeed become one of the heavyweight cars in the international automobile markets and became one of the most popular cars in the world. And you know what? The rest, as they say, is history. The ever-perpetual chase towards excellent evolution is inspired by the results that they have reeled in on the racing track and adapted in their day-in, day-out line of vehicles. The soul of perfection is given life in each and every car that comes from Honda, from the amazing lines of its sports cars right through to the dependable little truck. Feel free to like and subscribe for more great content. Share this video and leave a comment letting us know which Toyota vehicle is your choice and why. See you in the next video.